Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ivy and Juke Creations. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kim, and I'm so glad you decided to click on this video. Today, y'all, I've got this old wood crate for y'all, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm covering it in Waverly's Antique Wax that is watered down and is mixed. It has just a little bit of Waverly's ink in it as well. And I done the whole crate. Then next, I wanted a moss color and I didn't have one, or only had just a little bit. And so I mixed up DIY's color aviary and then lightened it up with Rust-Oleum's white linen chalk paint. Mixed that together, and that gave me this beautiful color that looks just like moss to me. And so I painted the whole crate, but I will spoil the surprise, y'all. I did not do the inside because I figured you wouldn't be able to see it anyway with the plans that I have for it. And so, yeah, I skipped out a little bit. But I just done all the ends and the sides, all four sides. And then don't run, y'all, because you see paint inlays. This video is not about paint inlays, so stick with me. I'm excited about this video, and I love it. I love it. But anyway, 2 videos ago, if you have not seen the metal dog feed planter thing that I redone 2 videos ago, I'll leave that video down in the description box for you. But anyway, when I done that metal planter, I laid this IOD's Rose Chance down in yellow paint. So now the idea is when I use this, second time, that the yellow is now going to transfer along with the roses, the print, onto this moss. And so anyway, you want to lay it down in wet paint. So I'm reusing this a second time, y'all. Goes to show you how far they go. But once I laid them in the wet paint, made sure they had good contact in the wet paint. I sprayed it, I dabbed it, and then I let it dry. And here, after it's dried, I sprayed it, lightly mist it, took my paper towels and dabbed the excess water off. And now I'm slowly pulling it up. And the yellow did not transfer like I thought it would. And a lot of the rose chintz didn't transfer. But yet, I love it, y'all. It's just got little faded pieces of the rose chintz here and there. And there you just see me spraying it with a 50% water and 50% polyacrylic to seal it so you don't smear it. And now, I want to say this side, yes, this side did transfer a little bit of yellow here and there. And you can barely see it on video, but I loved it. All right. So then we're going to take this wood round from the Dollar Tree, and we're painting it with DIY's paint in the color Queen Bee, which is the same color that I painted the metal planter 2 videos ago. And we're going to paint the front and the back of it. And while we're painting this, y'all, I done all the crate itself in one day. And then on the second day, I kept playing with placement. What in the world am I going to put on this crate now that I've got it painted? I searched high and low to find stuff to fit on those little slats. But I tried molds, transfers, stamps, you name it, and I couldn't find nothing. And then I came across this decal that I had cut with my Cricut when I first got my Cricut about 2 years ago. And so it fit on here perfect. And then I also couldn't remember if this was permanent vinyl or removable vinyl. So to be on the safe side, I covered this thing in Mod Podge. Now, back to the crate. Y'all hang with me. We're going to take our tape measure and find the center. And I kind of went fast, but right there above the E, I've got a little piece of tape as my marker as the center. And because fresh is 4 letters, we're going to line up 5 letters out. I'm sorry. 2 on each side of E. But anyway, put the E right there where we had that marker for the tape. Then I moved the marker down here to the bottom. And we've done market. Then we've done blooms. And then we've done seeds. And the yellow round wood sign is not attached yet. I've got it laying on a little silicone mat. That's what's shining up under it. But I just want it there so I could play around with placement. Once again, not knowing what type of vinyl that I got on here, I decided to take my blow dryer and heat that vinyl up, and it's just kind of like melting in to that rough wood. Now here comes the embellishing part, y'all. As I was saying earlier, I played with placement and all kind of ideas all day long, which is today, and I finally finished it today. So this video took me 2 days for y'all. But now we're going to take a set of stamps from IOD, and it's called Queen Bee. And here I took some shipping tape and lined the back of my sandpaper to make it more tougher, wrapped it around a piece of wood block, and I was seasoning my stamps, which means just lightly rub it over to get the factory shine off of it. Now we're going to take a piece from that stamp, and I'm stamping it with IOD's green ink. I want to say it's the color Newgrass. And I'm knowing that it's going to be a faint impression, but I still was just like experimenting here, because vintage, faint, that's what we're going for. Or let me rephrase that. All this bright white vinyl is looking like too new to be on an old wood crate. But anyway, back to the stamps. I stamped them in that green, and then now this is the end of the crate, and it's another piece from that same set, and I stamped that on each end. See right there, the 2 little yellow dots above my hand? You can see on this side where the yellow did transfer. Then I decided to go back over with that green with black ink. And I lined it up very carefully and stamped it. And then I took a B and stamped it in the right corner and one in the left corner. And now here's where I was looking at it and said it needed something. As you can tell by now, I'm wanting to put it on my porch. And I'm slowly getting all the junk cleaned off my porch so it'll look like a real porch supposed to look like. And I painted this thing here yellow because I wanted it to match the metal planter that I made 2 videos ago. But everything was just looking like too bright. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it. So I was like, well, antique wax fixes everything, right? So I decided to start going around all the edges and distressing. And what I would do is I would dip my chip brush in the antique wax and then dab it off on like a little silicone mat, paper towel, whatever you want to use. And then I start going around the edges. And then sometimes I would just dab it. That way the bristles would go where it wanted to, and to me it looked more natural. And then here I'm just dabbing again like it's old and rusty. But, I mean, it's wood. It ain't supposed to be rusty, but just old and dirty. This crate's been through the mill, and it landed on my porch. So now I'm looking at the words, the vinyl, and they're just so bright. They look new. And so my thought process was, this is a vintage wooden crate from a long time ago, and the words shouldn't be bright like that. It looks new. So I'm taking my antique wax and I'm rubbing over the words, and right here it's very, very dry brushing, y'all, and it's picking up all the texture in this old barnwood, rough wood. You'll start seeing them little lines that's running vertically. They picking up the antiquing wax. And then we go to the side. And if you're new at distressing or whatever, just always start off light. And that means just barely dip your bristles in your antique wax or your black, whatever. And then have like a paper towel or something that you can dab the excess off. And start off light. And that's what I did here. But see how this end is, I started going ahead. I was liking it. So I was adding more and more and more. And y'all get the idea. When I get through with this thing, I love it. But it looks old. And now, since I've got the sides, I went a little dark on the sides, and now I'm having to flip it back to the front and, get it matching the other side. And then we're going to do the other end. And you see how the rose chintz is like, it looks like this whole side was covered in rose chintz, and over the years it's faded away, and that's what's left. And y'all, here's the crate. I love it. And here I'm just going over the top and, just touching up where it still looks bright to me. And here she is, y'all, on my porch, my craft shed porch. There's one end. Here's the other end that the yellow transferred. The stamp. And one last look. Here she goes with the planner that I did 2 videos ago. And y'all, this thing was just shining so bright compared to my dirty, dingy wood crate. So I also went around it and got it dirtied up and made it look like it was rusting and stuff like that. But I didn't do a video on it because it was made 2 videos ago. And like I said, if you hadn't seen that, I'll have it down in the description box. And then, y'all, surprise, surprise, I've got 2 DIYs for y'all. How about that? So we're going to take the book that I was just showing you, was IOD's Transfer, called Ephemeral. I hope I said that right, but probably didn't. Now we're going to take this page out, and I'm trying to figure out where I need to cut it. And then once I measure it and get it laid down where I want it, I'm going to take some painter's tape and I'm going to make me a hinge. But first, I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and because we're doing this on a round surface, we want to do as many slits in it that we can, and it'll help it lay down. All around it. Alright, now we're going to lift the transfer up, take the carrier sheet off, and lay her down, y'all. And yes, I'm not doing anything to this watering can. It's got holes in it. It's no more useful. And instead of challenging myself to like paint it or whatever, I couldn't, y'all. I just love the rusty, crusty goodness on it. And it's even, you can't hardly see it in the video, but on the spout, it actually has like a texture of like moss. What is it? I can't think of it, but anyway. But we're just going to slowly start taking the stick that's provided with your transfer and start rubbing it down. And y'all, it stuck good to this watering can. And I forgot to mention earlier, I did, run the sander over the can, clean it up real good, and sanded it gently so I didn't cave no more in. And then I sprayed it with a 50% polyacrylic and 50% water. Let it dry, and then I sprayed it again. And now you see this transfer is going on easily. Now I'm going to take a sharp utility knife and I'm going to cut down a line down in that little groove right there so I can try to get it laid down in the groove. But nope. You see the little crack right there where it broke? But I'm just going with it, y'all. Initially, I was telling myself that I would get some, white paint and touch it up. But then I totally forgot about it. And then when I was taking the finished pictures for it, I didn't even notice it. It's just part of being old, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just continue taking my knife, cutting down in them little grooves. And then I'm going to start poking the holes through and just poke the transfer straight through the rusted out holes. And just keep rubbing it down, making good contact. And y'all, I got myself a mess. It'll probably take me 2 days to get my craft room cleaned back up to do another video. I'm telling y'all, I pull all kind of stuff down and I make a humongous mess. And before I can, start on another project, I have to do what you call a reset and clean everything back up. All right, y'all, here I'm spraying it again with the 50% polyacrylic and water. Y'all, look. Oh my gosh. I love it just like it is. Ain't it beautiful? And I forgot to tell y'all about the wood crate. I think I forgot, I don't know, but I loved it too. And I absolutely loved this. And here it is on my porch. I can't show y'all my whole porch yet. Because like I say, I'm still unpacking stuff slowly but surely. And now here's all 3 of them together with my metal planter. Look, ain't she pretty? Thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all please hit the like button and share this video out. And if you hadn't subscribed yet, I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed week. What's left of it. Bye.